Hey guys, it's MOLOCH, and just going to be doing one of my figure drawing and anatomy exercises for my figure drawing and anatomy, life drawing and anatomy course currently being taught by Eric Brown and Ben Sowards, but this assignment is from Ben Sowards. Got my bubbly, and today we're going to be drawing the skull. It's actually not bad. I'm pretty picky when it comes to like my sodas, my sparkling waters, and that's actually really nice. I'm pleasantly surprised. So let's start with this first one from underneath. It's probably dark. I'm going to add a little more light. Hopefully that's better. Might be a little hard to see because I'm drawing in pencil. And these weird handles on this side, what are those called? Are those the zygomatic? No. Whack-a-mole, 5, where's 5? Yep. So those handles that are kind of like on the ridges around the cheekbone. He said you could like literally stick your fingers through and it's just a skull. That's the zygomatic. He's gonna be testing us on this stuff at some point, I think. So I gotta be ready. Yeah, I didn't set up my condenser mic or anything fancy just because, you know, this is going to be a little more chill. It's just me doing a little bit of sketching. If you're into watching that, you can be here. If you're like, I'm not into this, you can check out my other videos. Wait for me to upload something that's a little bit more in your taste. Maybe like one of the comedy videos or a video where I review an art book. What's this thing at the bottom called? Mastoid process. No. There's 12. Yeah, 12. Mastoid process. That's the thing at the bottom here. The front is the mental process, the bottom of the chin. Shit. I do like the shape of skulls. I think they're very aesthetically pleasing. I wonder if that's kind of like narcissistic as a human to be attracted to organic shapes and patterns that mirror your own. I'm like not very good at like free drawing. It's part of why I took this class. This class is actually not required for either of my degrees that I'm going for. Taking it because I'm really passionate about drawing, and I eventually want to be able to draw like just free and without like photographic reference at some point. Maybe not have them look exactly the same as my ones that I do use photographic references for, but you know, I really like how Kim Jung-gi can just like sign books on the fly. It takes him like 3 to 4 minutes and he signed someone's book, and that's just a nice experience to have, and I would like to be able to do that. A long way from there, but the only way you can get better in doing something you want to do is by doing it and learning about it. It's interesting to think about. Like if you close your eyes and you try and visualize, like, unless you're a much more competent artist than me who knows a lot more about anatomy already, or maybe you have a little bit of medical experience. If you were told to close your eyes and try and imagine all of the like little bones in a hand, or try and construct a face from memory, like you can remember what someone looks like, but if you had to like try and imagine it in great detail, like when you close your eyes and try and visualize something, like it's really difficult. And I definitely use light boards to assist me in creating silhouettes and the shapes at the very least, you know, contours for my drawings. Sometimes I'll even use it to figure out where value is a lot of the time. There's nothing wrong with that, because I'm trying to create a very specific image and I want it to look a certain way. And that expedites that process and makes it easier to accomplish what I desire. And you know, a lot of it depends on where the value of the art comes from. Because a lot of people, why they like Kim Jung-gi is they're like, oh, he's like a magical master because he can do it without looking at a reference, which is impressive, and it makes it almost like a performance art, which is very wonderful. But for the most part, I feel like when it comes especially to things like figure drawing, in the end, it's, you know, if you're working in the comics industry especially, how much can you produce and how dynamic can you be? You know, they need you to create a certain amount of content within a certain amount of time. It has to be of a certain quality, and they probably want you to have some very specific skills in terms of your ability to convey emotion and story over whether or not you have certain things memorized or can kind of go on a whim. But obviously an understanding of anatomy helps with all parts of that. Just saying, some people like freak out when people find out that someone uses a reference or had some element of tracing or light board. But a lot of the old masters would basically use what's essentially a projector. A lot of them would have this kind of apparatus with like strings that would form a grid. A lot of them would use grids. My goal would be eventually when I release my art books to be able to just kind of sign them on a whim like that if I wanted to, and create something that, you know, is that I could appreciate. One sec. Whew, now I got all this sanguine dust on my hand. Yeesh. Wanted to get out my Factus eraser. I think the exercises from this course are going to be very important to me. So I'm not going to try and like cheat my way out of any of them or anything stupid like that. I'm not going to try and kill myself on any of them either, though. Because these are just exercises, and I'm not giving up anytime soon. So, I need to... That's one of my goals this semester, is to take my personal health into account a little bit more. This is my last year of school. So they cannot take my scholarship away anymore. So I'm not going to be panicking anymore to like reach a certain GPA. I mean, a lot of people take that and they go, oh, ha ha ha, yeah, you can just like sit back and relax. Like, no, I still want to learn. I'm going to do like hard work still, but I'm just going to try and like focus on having enough time to exercise, taking care of myself, not getting so stressed that, you know, my chest hurts, my heart hurts, I'm like not eating regularly and stuff. You know, I'm going to try and take care of all that stuff too this time. But I'm still going to be working hard and trying to learn all that I can. And I had to get a mechanical pencil for the small stuff, because I really like these pencils, like when I'm working on a bigger medium, and you know, they got some of that nice dust and stuff, but I really like something really with a fine point right now. Yeah, I'm gonna keep... Like, I'm probably going to find some books of muscles and skeletons, and Eric Brown, the other professor, was kind of showing us an exercise that some of the students in California were doing. Kind of, they like take a figure, simplify her into blocks, then try and like draw where they thought the bones would be. So I'll probably get some muscle and skeleton books, get some figure pose reference books, and just try and do stuff like that every now and then. I'll probably record them kind of like this. I mean, it's probably not like the most eye-catching or like exciting content right now. I do some other sillier things. I'm going to be doing this, so I figured I might as well record it anyway. It'll help hold me accountable to myself. And I figure there is someone out there who would be interested in watching, even if it's just to see like the progress of a human being attempting to do something that's difficult that they don't know how to do. Or maybe they just find watching random people sketch to be super chill. the mandibles. Maybe 10, yeah, mandible. 9, maxilla. Maxilla? 9 right here, is that like where the teeth go? Oh, or is that the piece that comes down and forms the top, where the top row of teeth connect? Okay. So, now we got some of this down. Yeah, I might try and get a mechanical pencil pretty soon, because this is freaking pain with how fat this pencil is. Hopefully at some point I'll be able to visualize bodies and how all the things connect and, you know, approximate proportions so I can create drawings that I feel like are, you know, adequate enough very quickly. I feel like aren't offensive to individuals or disrespect their, this. Because, you know, especially when you're drawing from life, sometimes I just feel so bad. Like, especially if I'm having a bad day. Like, if you draw, you just know that sometimes you're doing something and no matter what you do, it just freaking sucks. And when you're drawing someone from life and, you know, they're nude, I mean, they're getting paid a lot, but they're sad, desperate college students sometimes. And, you know, sorry, I'm like also trying to focus. Well, then they walk around and they see the drawings and you're just like, either mine doesn't really look like you or it's kind of shitty. I'm just like, you know, when I see something like that, I'm like, oh, you poor person, you're trying But also it's just like kind of offensive seeing yourself like out of proportion and like contorted and kind of ugly looking sometimes. So I like never want to disrespect people with my drawings like that. Sometimes when they look bad, I just feel bad for when the model comes around and sees them. I'm like, oh god, I'm sorry. Zygomatic, where you can put your finger through. Frontal bone, that's easy. Forehead. Occipital, no wait, parietal, fuck, I can't remember how to say it. Parietal, top. Occipital, the back. Temporal, the sides. Zygomatic, you can put your fingers through. Lacrimal, where the tear ducts are. Lacrimae. Orbital socket, kind of where we got the eyes going. Nasal bone, where your nose is. Maxilla, top, where the teeth go in. Mandible. Mastoid process, weird nub in the back. Mental process, chin. Ooh. We got this. So now let's do this one from the top. It's interesting because he was talking about the muscles that equate to jaw strength, and fuck, that's a little too sharp. He's just talking about how a lot of animals that have like really powerful bites, like some dogs, like gorillas, how the actual bones kind of have like a mohawk, kind of like this like ridge of bones on top of the skull, where the muscles and maybe tendons or maybe just muscles that actually create the jaw power and create the clench. That way there's more of it, so more of it can grab to it. And that's part of why they're able to have a more powerful bite. So I don't know, I found kind of interesting. It was kind of interesting how a skull can also appear sort of menacing. It was interesting. There's what is it? The iPhone 11 was announced, and people with some kind of weird phobia, starts with a T, were like complaining about it because the camera looks weird to them. They have like a fear of multiple holes. And I really don't like spiders for a lot of reasons. One of the big ones is their eyes me the fuck out. Like, ugh, no thank you. I can kill them if I have to, but I honestly don't even like to mess with them. But yeah, the camera, like before I even saw like the rest of the article where it was like talking about what the fear was and what it meant, I did feel like sort of uncomfortable when it first like showed the camera and like that really close-up video that they do to like showcase the products. I was like, it's a little weird. Made me think of a spider kind of, or like some sort of fungus. And this eraser is so strong, it's impressing the page. Yeesh. Brand new. Gotta break it in. Okay, so now we have to label each in 2 places. So we have the frontal bone. Supraorbital process is that ridge that forms above the brow or at the brow. Supraorbital process. Okay. Parietal. Parietal is top. So let's go parietal bone. Parietal bone. Occipital is the back. Bone. Temporal bone, the sides. So temporal bone. Should just write temporal for God's sakes. Bone. So I'm just going to write zygomatic instead of writing bone every freaking time. Zygomatic. This is lacrimal. Let's do one here. Lacrimal. Orbital socket. Orbital socket. Supra is above or on top of. This is the orbital socket. Probably because it's round. Kind of like a spherical indentation almost. Very oblique, but the brow sits on top of the orbital sockets, so it's above orbital process, supraorbital process. All I have to remember is orbital socket. I'll be able to remember that then. Orbital socket. nasal bone. Hello there. It's kind of weird to think how much of your nose isn't solid. Like if you wiggle it at the tip and then start wiggling up to the bridge of your nose, when it like stops being able to be wiggled anymore, that means it's basically bone. So I've got kind of a long, funny nose. I kind of like my nose. I'm kind of glad it's not like super small, but everyone has their own taste. But I can like go quite a ways before I end up hitting the bone. Maxilla, that's the kind of the cylinder. Maxilla. Maxilla. I wonder if that's where the whole like naming your dog Max comes from. Like especially like they're like, oh yeah, it's a dog with like the bite called Max. I don't know, that's probably how I'm gonna remember it. Mandible. Mandible. Even though I don't think we're supposed to, we'll go mental process. Mastoid process. And we'll make them say, hey, soda boys and girls. And then gotta slap one of these sad houses on here. And sign it, because you never know. Maybe one day this thing will be lost. Having it signed will be important for some reason or another. I try and sign and mark all the things I do in drawing. Seems like a good idea. I'm not sure if that's something you should ever worry about. It's kind of probably more of a personal choice. When I posted some of my stuff to Reddit, I remember one person was like all mad. They're like, why do you have to sign everything? I don't know. It's how I feel. You do you. So that is this exercise. Probably going to be filming more of these as they come along, and you get to watch me struggle and fumble about these things, and hopefully you'll see some improvement and you'll be like, wow, you don't suck as bad anymore as we continue through these. Thank you for watching the video. If you did, feel free to support me on Patreon or check out my Instagram, or just check out the description because there actually is some useful and interesting things that I put there. And I hope to see you in the next video.